In this video, I'd like to address two people. That is the CEO of Ableton, the CEO of Image Line. In this video, I have a very simple request. I'm worried that it's not what a business wants to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is the request, so we can skip to the end. Could you please make a limited version of your DAW software available for free on your websites, so that anyone who even has the slightest passing interest in making music can get a free version without having to supply credit card details and without having to pirate software, but which still lets them make music in a frictionless way. And I mean frictionless in the sense that if someone has a desire to make music, that there is a uber obvious answer. Oh, you want to make music? You go to one of two websites, the Ableton website and get Ableton Live free, or you go to the Image Line website and you get FL Studio free. It can be extremely limited, and I would make a case that its limited nature will actually be one of the best things about it. The fact that you download a piece of music software and it does not have 400 plugins is actually a benefit to someone just getting started. The reason that I think that this is necessary is that I think that the reason that most piracy occurs is because people aren't confident that they know that they will stick with making music when they are just starting out. What kind of a ask is it to a kid to have to spend even £100 on a DAW? Not least, there are plenty of countries for whom £100 is like more than a month's wages. Do those people have an option to make music if they have a computer? And I also then, that reminds me to address a comment that I see on the Image Line site where it says that people seem to be able to afford a computer and people can buy an audio interface and people can buy synthesizers and what have you. It's reasonable that they should be able to pay for their software and there is no excuse for piracy. And I do agree with that. Of course, that makes logical sense. But it's not the pirate of music software who is in their middle ages that I'm interested in, quite frankly. I would like to see more evidence that most pirates are older people who can afford software, because my suspicion is that most pirates are young people who perhaps, as the legend goes, do not have fully formed prefrontal cortexes and are therefore more liable to make poor decisions such as, I'm going to pirate this piece of software. But I think that the reason that a young person is more likely to pirate a piece of software is for several reasons, one of which is they likely don't have a job. You know, if you're 14 or 13, can you get a job and scare up £100 to buy a piece of software? And yes, I know that there are ways and means that you might be able to do so, but think about the sheer gulf of friction, the sheer gulf that has to be crossed when you're not even sure that this is something that you might want to do, and that most of your proclivities are telling you that you'd be terrible at it. Why should you be creative? What right do you have to say that you can be a creative person? Well, actually, what if those people were given the chance? Because I have come to recognize that the reason that I got a chance to do it was because my brothers had some equipment that I got my chance to put my hands on. Because I had the chance to put my hands on it, I learned that I was interested in it. And the same kind of thing needs to be possible with software. There needs to be a way that your big brother, your sort of virtual big brother, that is you, the CEO, says, hey kid, try this out. It's like handing them a guitar and saying, try that on for size. How does that feel? And why, pray tell, might I argue that a demo is not the answer to this question? I would say so because a demo doesn't let you save and reopen a set. And can you really build a relationship and truly explore your ability to make music with a time-limited demo that doesn't let you save and reopen your work? I think it's necessary that you can actually do the whole process and write a piece of music, a thing that might take more than a few sessions to do, especially early on. And so I don't think a demo is the answer. We need to give them a piece of software that says, kid, this is yours to keep. This works. You can make a whole track with this. It doesn't do much, but you can make music with this. I'm not putting any arbitrary breaks on it other than track counts and instrument limits and things like this. I don't think a demo will do it. That's why you literally never hear anyone say the words, I got started on the demo of FL Studio. They say I got started on a pirated copy that I was able to save and reopen things with. But the other thing, and maybe this is a UK thing, but I suspect it's a worldwide thing. Have you noticed how expensive everything is becoming? And have you noticed how much youth centres, places for young people to go that are not the streets and are not gangs? Have you noticed how those things are closing down? How there's very little budget in government budgets and council budgets for youth centres? And so opportunities for young people to go and try music making are vastly reduced, if they exist at all. For people in small towns, kids in small towns that have nothing, what are those kids going to do with their time? And I'm here to say that music making is probably the greatest hobby that you can have. It's an endless, boundless, exciting thing. Electronic music can be anything at all. It is literally limitless in its scope. Music making is boundless. It can give you an entire lifetime. And I'm here to make the case that in the case of people who might be more tempted to go and join a gang, there is a very real chance that discovering a piece of music software might actually save your life. It might be the reason that you don't make a choice to do something else with your time, and instead you stay at home and you make beats. What I want is for there to be a frictionless answer to the question of what should I do if I want to make music. I want there to be an obvious answer on every forum, in every AI-generated search result, which is you get the free version and you just play around and you make a little EP, and that's what you do. And you discover, perhaps to your great surprise, that lying dormant inside of you was a musician that wanted to come out, and that this weird hobby of making music has become your obsession. And in fact, now that I'm a bit older and I've got some money in a credit card, I'm going to get the full version of Ableton Live or FL Studio because I want more. I want more of what I have already been doing. But I didn't know that I wanted more until I got to try it for the first time. And I think that even having the slightest piece of cost attached to this and having credit cards be necessary to get hold of it are putting up barriers. And that is the reason that we have piracy to a large extent. And I realize that you have bills to pay, and that paying people to maintain a piece of software that you give away and to keep it bug-free and functional and downloadable and all these things have a cost. I appreciate that. But I'm unfortunately going to make a case that, annoying though this sounds and unfair though this sounds, that I think that music software is not just a product, even though it is, in a way. It is a product, but it is something much more significant. Just as a pen is a commodity, ultimately a pen is potentially a thing that can save someone's life, because you could write a letter with a pen that would solve a problem or save a life or redeem a relationship. The power of the pen is not just to put marks on a piece of paper arbitrarily. It's what it holds in its potential. And similarly, music equipment and software is not just a commodity about making money for the company. I hate to say it's not. It's also a means by which a person may discover their very creativity. It might become the vehicle by which they become creative, the very point of their lives. Someone may sit on their deathbed and say, the best thing I ever did in my life was explore and express music. And it may well be that they did that through a piece of software. The piece of software has the potential to be the most important thing in someone's life, potentially, might be the only thing they have in their life that is good. And it's reaching those people, reaching people for whom that it is the most significant thing in their lives, and they may not even know that yet. That is what concerns me greatly. That is why I want there to be a frictionless way, an easy answer that can be given without a moment's thought and that can be acted on without any excuse. No excuse. It's free. It's free. They charge people for the bigger version, but this is free. You can have a little bit of it, but enough to fully explore whether it is something that you want to continue with. So that's it. Please consider doing this. And thank you. Happy music making.